Today's guest is Florence Jarrett. She is from the beautiful island of Jamaica, but lives in the Turks and Caicos Island. She's a human resource manager and specialist for a group of companies, and she has over 27 years of experience. While growing up in Jamaica, she was always known to be a teacher, always acting and playing school. Her acting came to life when she went and studied business education. Thereafter, she started her career as a business studies teacher, specializing in accounts and economic principles of business. She taught finance, management, human resources, entrepreneurship, and company law. Her total years as an educator spanned over 23 years. Her life is guided by a few philosophies, such as, where there is no vision, there is no hope. And don't wait for the right moment to start. Start and make each moment right. Let's welcome Florence Jarrett to Pathways to Success.
Welcome to Pathway to Success. I'm your host. It's good to be back after a 2 weeks break, really, traveling. But welcome to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter, and I have the very well-achieved, beautiful Florence Jarrett on Pathway to Success. Florence, it's such an honor to have you on our show.
Same here, Doc. I'm elated to be here this afternoon. It could not have been another time. I'm grateful.
Yes. First thing, I take note of your accent that you say. Where are you from? You're Jamaican, right?
Yes, I am.
And where in Jamaica were you born?
I was born in Manchester, Jamaica,
Uh-huh.
and spent most of my life in Clarendon, school-wise. And then I moved to Kingston after high school for college, and then started working, and that was it.
Wow. What made now you're living in is it Grand Turks? You're
Grand Turk, Turks and Caicos Islands.
Turks and Caicos Island. What motivated you or what inspired you to choose the Turks, the Turks Island? Such a beautiful island, but
My story might not be normal or what other persons might be expecting. Um, I just remember another colleague and I was a teacher then at the St. George's College in Kingston. And a colleague and we were just chatting, and we were like, wonder what it would be like to apply for a teaching job overseas. Then we started going through countries, and I knew another Jamaican who was here at the time. We went to cast together, and so I knew the name Turks and Caicos, and I sent an application to Turks and Caicos. I sent one to the Bahamas, and I sent another one. I think it was to Barbados, and I remember getting a response from Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos, but they were both saying they have no vacancy, and this was like in the month of August. As you know, in the Caribbean, the school year starts at September. So that was it. And after the school semester started in September, I got a call from Turks and Caicos because a teacher did not show up and I was on top of the list. And here I am.
wow, congratulations. So it was destined by God for you
Indeed.
to really be living in the Turks and Caicos Island.
Perfect.
But what inspired you? Tell us a little bit about yourself, some more. What inspired you? What inspired you to pursue a career in both education and human resource management?
It sounds like a big question. It is a big question,
Is
but
it? Not
I
for
did not
you,
think both
I'm
mornings
sure.
at the same time. It just happened. Um, a teacher, I was told by my late mom that I'm a born teacher. She would remind me of the days, and I could even remember the days when I was in kindergarten. I would go home and I would pretty much reactivate everything that happened in my classroom in the back of the yard, beating stones and trees with whatever I could find. And from that, she could tell, um, we would say, the dumbest student in the class, the brightest one in the class, who I loved in the class, who was my friend in the class because of how I relate to the stones and the trees when I asked them questions.
Right.
And she would always remind me of this. Now, how did I get into teaching after secondary? When I graduated, I was top agriculture student and top accounting student in the top four accounts. And I applied to both CASE, College of Agriculture, and I applied to CAST. Um, it is now University of Technology, Jamaica. Then it was College of Art, Science, and Technology. And I got through with CAST before agriculture. And when I went in, my whole aim was to study accounting because I loved accounts. When I got into the commerce department, I could not afford the tuition. So my girlfriend was like, I started feeling depressed. And she was like, how about trying out for the teaching department and teach accounts instead? And that's what I did. Here I am. That's how my whole career started in education. However, after college, the plan was not to teach, but in my last year, I was the top teaching practice student.
Wow.
Many of my colleagues are online. Yes, they can vouch for
Congratulations.
me. Thank you. So it came natural when I'm in the classroom. It's just a flow, and from there, the school I did teaching practice at, it was Kingston Technical then. I'd applied to them for the September semester. I got through, but then I'd already sent an application to George's that called me earlier. And so I started my full time teaching career at St. George's College, North Street, Kingston, Jamaica. And human and resource came in late when I decided to venture out on my first master's degree. And I wanted to do something with people because I realized that I have a special touch with people. So I decided to study HR, and I did that as a minor in my first MBA. That's it. That's how I happened to have both.
Congratulations. Because you mentioned George's. I just said, oh my God, they were in blue.
Exactly.
Shout out to
Perfect.
all. How long did you stay? How long did you teach at George's, St.
I,
George's College?
I taught at George's 3 years.
3 years. That's good. What was that experience like? I mean, boys' school. I'm sure the guys going Google Gaga over a great, beautiful teacher. What was that like?
Well, if my students are on the live, they will tell you I hate to say it, but a very strict person, very disciplined, a disciplinarian. And at George's, that was no exception. One thing I could say about teaching at an all boys like George's then, um, they were mannerable. They would be thinking things about the teachers. They would not say it out loud. They weren't that brazen. I mean, I guess because they respect you, and I survived. But it was
Now, how do you balance your multiple roles as an HR specialist, business coach, entrepreneur, and educator?
um well, the good thing is I am no longer an active lecturer. I stopped lecturing full time. I was an adjunct for a year. I stopped lecturing full time in 2020. And after that, my only focus for juggling would have now been being a human resource manager, an entrepreneur, and one of my businesses is a coaching business, which that was and still is flexible. So I would do that within my available times. That's how I make my schedule my sessions. So it is easy to juggle because you have to be organized, be prepared, and just place everything before God, and He will make a way. I really don't know how I do it. It just happened.
I love your colors. The colors really remind me of a
It's
a
my
part a part, a part of the government back home, and
oh
so which
no.
is now in power. So
All right, we're
um,
not gonna go there.
you know,
We're
you,
not.
you won't go politics. You won't go politics. That
No.
means you won't. The day will not come when you think of maybe enter into politics somewhere along the line. People representation because you're good with people.
I'm good with people, but the political realm, I'm not seeing it nowhere in my future. But as the Lord leads,
Okay, okay.
as the Lord, no idea, nowhere in my path, nowhere close to my eyes.
You never know. But can you share some of the key philosophies that guide your life and work and how they have influenced your career to this day?
Um, the road of life is not balanced. There is not a blueprint for it. And so having philosophies that guide you, what guided you 10 years ago might not be what is relevant in today's time. But to share a little bit of mine, don't wait for the right moment to start. Start and make each moment right. In other words, start where you are with what you have. And I would say, where there is no vision, there is no hope. So I tend to dream, write my vision, make it plain. The Bible in Habakkuk 2, verse 3 remind us of that, or command us to do that. Write your vision, make it plain, and though it may tarry, it shall come to pass. So those are two of my strongest philosophies, and maintain a sense of humility.
Wow, I like that. Now, you transitioned from a full-time educator to a human resource manager for a group of companies.
Mhm.
How was it an easy transition? Tell us a little bit about that.
The word easy is a bit tricky, but um, I think what gave me an upper hand is my personality with people. And I think it's a gift. I can walk into turmoil, sounds extra, but I'm good at solving problems with people. And a student can come to me and very upset about a class, about another colleague. And by the time the student is leaving me, they leave with a different mindset, a more positive mindset, a better way how to look at solving the situation. And I realize I have the same gift in the outer world, outside of the classroom, in my groups that I am member of, associations. Um, I would say, even currently at my workplace, I have a thing with people. And I think that has given me a cut above the rest to do that transition. So it's all about dealing with people and having that personality. It was easy for me to do the shift. And another another top I had, or I have, is my years of teaching. I spent most of my teaching life here in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and it's a very small country compared to other Caribbean countries. And the fact that I have over 20 years of past students on the road, now that they are the ones I would say in power, they are doing well in society. I am proud. And it helps me to get around easier because I have been good to them when they needed me. And now the tables have turned. In cases, I might need them to get my work done because of the office that they hold. And it is basically, I think about doing good to others or do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is coming back to play a part in my life now. And that's what really, really helped me to transition from full time education to full time HR.
Wow, that's very powerful. I like that. We're going to take a short break on Pathway to Success with Miss Florence Jarrett, and we'll be right back.
Did you pick out this detergent all by yourself? So cute.
It's half the size and it's half the plastic. And there's nothing cute about unnecessary plastic. Christy, the average person generates over 200 pounds of plastic a year. And there are 329 million of us in the US alone.
Do you want paper or paper? Yeah.
7th generation Easy Dose laundry detergent. Half the size, half the plastic, all the clean.
So where were we?
The playoff.
Oh, yes. Only a handful of teams remained, hailing from kingdoms far and wide across the college football land, all vying for a spot in the playoffs. Each team led by a great coach, fearless players, and defended by the loyalest of fans. Soon, they would take part in an epic playoff battle for the right to call themselves national champions. And to the victor go the spoils, a beautiful trophy, a grand celebration, and bragging rights that stand the test of time.
And then what happened?
We'll find out soon.
Ready? All clear. Come on out. You know what's going on?
This ship is now under the command of the First Order.
Live your Star Wars story in a new 2-night adventure.
You know what I've come for.
Only at Walt Disney World Resort.
Welcome back to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter, and I'm with the illustrious Florence Jarrett. I like that name. Who named you Florence? I know about Florence Nightingale. Is it Nightingale or something like that? Am I correct?
Yes.
So is it were you named after her or what?
Yes. My mom told me about the story, Lady with the Lamp.
Okay, that's nice because I was just thinking backstage about the name. I said, "Wow, the name is unique." But how do you use your background in education, right, to enhance your effectiveness as a human resource manager?
My background in education, my experience in education, strong foundation for what I am doing now, in the sense that the patience that I've developed is very important. Dealing with people from all walks of life, different cultures, temperaments, so much to deal with. Um, my years in the classroom have groomed me for this, actually. And I don't think anyone has patience more than a teacher, but I think it has played a very important part for me now in my HR management capacity. I think I would give that the most fix patience.
You said something earlier on that you don't think anyone have the patience like a teacher, I guess, or parents, or parents and a pastor.
Um, well,
Pastor.
uh, uh, I would agree maybe with the pastor than the parent, because a teacher has to do all of those roles in the classroom.
That's
So
true.
I would definitely give the teacher the cut above, and then the other two could fall. I'm not too sure of the order.
Well,
Hey,
without the teacher, would not have the president. You know, the Dr. Michael Hunter, yourself. So the teachers, I celebrate the teachers. There are so many in my family. I want to celebrate you and the great job that you have done to
thank you.
educate others. But explain to us, what are some of the most rewarding aspects of your role as a business coach and motivator?
Uh, as a business coach, watching people change. The thing about being a leadership coach is change has to be, um, what would I say? Change would have to be a request or something that is needed by the person you're trying to help. You cannot force it on them. They would have to need change for themselves. And once that person is open to change, then as the coach, it can let you flow more easier into getting them from where they are now to where they want to go. As you go along the pathway with them, it is actually the client that paves the way that they want to go. And all the coach has to do is to just steer the vehicle to make sure that there is no derailment. So that is it from a coaching perspective. From a human resource perspective, my passion for teaching, I think I'd mentioned it before, my love for people and the gift that I have to deal with people, that people's personality, I think it helped me along the way.
Can you share an example of a challenging situation? Of course, you must have faced that in your career and how you overcame it.
A lot, but do I want to share? um, there are many I could think of, but when I'm faced with challenges, I tend not to go head on. I tend to think a lot about it, especially the older I get. I'm using the word older coming from a maturity perspective. Um, I realize that you don't want to move too fast. And in making decisions that might impact your career, impact your life, impact your life, you got to take it easy. You got to, as I mentioned before, being humble. And I would say, challenges face quite a bit. My change over from full time education to HR was a challenge. And how did I overcome it? I overcome it by the grace of God. Why do I say that? I got the word in my spirit that it was time for a change. I got the word that it is my season to move on. Where I was going to move on to, I did not know. I prayed about it, and my answer was do your part. My part would have been to send out my resume, my cover letter. And because I had switched from just HR management, I did a second master's in industrial organization psychology, which is focusing more on the way workers in a workplace think. So basically, looking at the mindset of workers in the workplace. And after studying that, I realized that the classroom, I've already outgrown the classroom. I would never use what I've learned in that course for to be beneficial in the classroom. And so I decided to send out resumes and application. Now, I chose the tourism industry as my focus then because I was thinking of a large group of people from different backgrounds, mixed culture, how you're going to get in their minds, people that are normally at unrest for salaries or something. And I think you would definitely find it in the hotel industry. And so that's where I sent all my to. Now, where I am now, I am at a job where God provided it for me. I didn't apply for it. I was called in.
Oh,
And just an amazing story as so I got the word in January and I spoke to my president at the college, a very humble person. His name it was then he was president, Dr. Hugh Fulford, and spoke with him, and he said to me, "I'm going to encourage your flow. I'm not going to stop you. I think it's a good thing. I do understand where you're coming from, and I love young people excel and move on." And I sent out applications, and here is August from February, March, August, and I've been on maybe 6 interviews, two with one place, and 4 interviews with a branded hotel. I was excited.
mhm.
And September morning, I did not get a call. I was back at the classroom. And I remember we had staff meeting like the week Thursday before school reopened on the Monday. And I was just there. I'm usually the life of the party. And everybody was like, "You all right? You all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." But I know I wasn't supposed to be there, but I could not explain it. Now, at this time, of course, I did not quit my job nor anything. And when I went in for Monday morning, I was in orientation. Not too sure if my boss is watching, but he would remember and laugh. I was actually in orientation and I got a call and I looked at my phone and I stepped outside and I answered. And my now boss said to me, a little birdie told me you were trying to leave the college. So I was like, well, the little birdie's right. I was trying, but here I am sitting in orientation. And he was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, you didn't send me an application." I said, "Oh my God, I didn't think about you. I'm so sorry. It's a good friend." And I apologized. And he was like, "You know what time can you come and have a meeting with me?" And I looked at my time. I was like, 2 p.m. is good. And then that was it. After that meeting, I had an offer the next day. And here I am after going 6 years. So,
Wow. Congratulations. You must have been excited to get away from, I know you love the students, but to get out of the classroom now to try something different,
yes, yes.
you know. But what advice would you give to individuals that's watching today that are aspiring to excel in multiple career paths as you have?
Um, Dealing with it's not a matter of multiple careers. It might not be something that you would set out to achieve, but in my path, that's what I'm faced with. I would say to them, um, I would say to them, be realistic. We all have seasons in our lives. And when it's your season, we call it the Kairos moment, when God opened that heaven over you and it is your time to move. You just have to make sure you step in and maximize your opportunity, whatever it is. And in doing this, there is no blueprint about multiple career or what you should embark on. There is no blueprint. No need for you to feel pressured about thinking how you can. You don't want to stretch yourself thin. But instead, my advice to you would be check in with God. One of my main guiding scriptures, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And I believe strongly in that. Another familiar one, which most people might repeat on a regular, is I can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth me. But put your trust in God. Seek him. Be realistic. Know your strength. Know what you have. Strategize how you can start using what you have to get to where you want. And write your vision. When you see the total picture, write your vision. And as I've mentioned, Habakkuk 2, verse 3 earlier, make it plain. And make sure you love and you enjoy what you're doing, because your gifts will make room for you.
I like that. That I like that. I think I said that today in a part of the setting, that the gifts will make room for you and bring you before great men,
Amen.
right? How long have you been living in the Turks Island, may I ask?
Ah, wow. I have been living in Turks and Caicos 24 years.
Really?
Yes.
Congratulations, you're no longer Jamaican. But I can't congratulate on that one. But um, 24 years, my word, 24. And how you
A few,
found
few months cut short 25.
you was short 25.
So I
Now,
could, yes.
The Turks, I've been there. Jamaica is a big Caribbean island. The transition, what was that like to you at first when you first got there? I should have asked that in the first stanza of the
Yes.
interview, because it was a bigger island. So,
Oh, wow.
what was that transition like for you?
Wow. Moving here in the 90s at a
Mhm.
very young age, a very young age.
Yeah.
It has to do with you as an individual. Um, I don't think a normal 20 something year old young person like myself would have moved here in that time when I did and still be here. But it has to do with what you want. If you're the excited type and love to be all over, it's not it would not have worked for you then. If you did not have humble
It
spirit.
would work for me. That's what you're saying.
I did not say that.
You know, but you were literally anyway, go ahead.
Not say that, Doc. But but honestly speaking, the transition for me was it was mind blowing. I remember my first day landed at the airport. Maybe some persons watching might have heard my story, and the taxi driver picked me up and she was taking me to the hotel. But the road to the hotel was so bad and there were a lot of bushes, and I was like, "Oh no, where are we going?" And soon as I got to the hotel, I called my sister in Jamaica and I said, "Sis, I am at the most beautiful hotel, beautiful beach, but getting here, I was wondering if I was being kidnapped." And this was in the 90s. Now, it's not like that anymore, but it was one of the most beautiful hotels on the island. And that was my first, not really my first wake up call. I got another one. I drove into town And the hotel manager said, I'm going to take you on a tour. I'm going to take you to see the town. So we went out and we came back. And when we came back to the hotel, I said to her, you're not going to take me to see the town? And she was like, you didn't see it. I was like,
That's
oh.
funny.
Now, that was a wake-up call because out of Jamaica, when you hear of a town, there are certain things you're expecting in a town, like a clock in the middle of the square. There is something that speaks to the center of the square. There are buildings, buildings, different levels, and there was none. So I realized that, wow, it is good to travel. It is good to travel and see what other countries are made of. And it helps you to appreciate. It really helps you to appreciate, things that we would have taken for granted in Jamaica. When you travel, you realize that you have so much to give God thanks for. And here I am after 25 years. Who would have thought? I didn't think I would have been here that long. But I have grown to love, first and foremost, the peace and quiet. The people, I guess I'm a people's person. So the people, they took on to me, I took on to them. I'm very easy to get along. I know what they are about and I know what I'm about. And it just became easy to live after that. But the transition, and we had some few wake-up calls, going to the supermarket, getting provision. It's different. Well, it was different. It's way past that now. Much, much better. But earlier, it was.
Beautiful. I've been there myself, and I really had a great time
Okay.
in
Beautiful.
Grand Turks. What a beautiful experience. Peaceful. The people are so the sweetest people you'll find, and so and very safe. Safe. Very safe.
Very.
So it was a tremendous time we had in the Turks Island, and we're looking forward again. I want to thank also Dr. Faye Forbes. Wow, Dr.
Yeah.
Faye Forbes. And I don't know if she's
How many
watching, but I want to say hello to Dr. Faye Forbes.
I apologize.
I
Oh, my conscience. Oh, Dr. Forbes, I know you're watching. I apologize to you so the world can see. Months ago, if I'm not mistaken, possibly last October, November. Oh my God, it's been so long. He reached out to me and invited me on the show, and I kept putting it off. So, but Dr. Forbes, it was not my doing. I am convinced today that it was the work of the Lord. Today was perfect. Today is the 7th of the 7th month. It is completion. It is just the right timing.
That's true.
I would not have switched today for another date, but my apologies for having you hanging, and by extension, Dr. Hunter and the team.
Thank you so much.
Me again.
You've really tremendously inspired us on Pathway to Success with your great story.
Thank
And you're winning big. Jamaican, leaving from Jamaica, and has been an inspiration and made a great name, and is one that is very successful also in the beautiful islands of Turks Island. And I think they have the most beautiful beaches you'll ever see. And and I want to thank also Dr. Faye Forbes for her hospitality. And the hospitality is first class. For those who have never been to the Turks Island, I would admonish you or encourage you to visit. The hospitality is the best. The people are the
welcome.
Yes, so we're looking forward again to visit the beautiful island of Turks. You're a citizen now in you have a British passport, may I ask?
Yes.
That's good. That's great. So you're a citizen of two nations, really.
Yes.
That's good. Should be interesting when you land in Jamaica. Which one of the books you carry? I want to ask that because I think when I go to Jamaica, I land with my Jamaican passport. So they won't tell me that I imagine born in Jamaica. And if I land with a US passport, I'm told I only have 6 months to stay in the country. And I said, what? Are you kidding me? So I said, oh no. So when I travel, I carry my Jamaican passport and it's just right there. I can stay as
Same here.
much as I want to.
Same here.
That's the
Whichever
same thing you
works.
do.
Whichever one works.
Whichever one works. So when you go there with your British passport, don't they give you 6 months?
To be honest with you, I've never really looked in it because I know I'm not even going to spend 6 months. But I'm sure.
Well, if you had spent 6 months, you'd be you need to be
Important.
you'd have been right back in Jamaica now where they just had that hurricane. We want to shout out,
So
give a
sad.
shout out to everyone in Jamaica. God has been good to
Yes.
Jamaica anyway. I've always said this, no matter how I hear people speak about category 5, it could be, I've never heard about a category 10 here, hurricane. I've never heard about that one. But no matter what category, God always protect Jamaica. And it's a very beautiful, hilly nation. So it just always split up the hurricane, so it doesn't affect us that much. And the condolences to the 2 persons, I think it was 2 persons that lost their lives in Jamaica. And I want to give a shout out because light is being restored back, everything's coming back to normality. I'm so happy that Jamaica came through without being destroyed or damaged in a way. So we give God thanks. Now it tells us that whenever there's a hurricane coming to Florida, we should run to Jamaica. No, but anyway, I'd have to turn up with my Jamaican passport, so I won't get 6 months in the island. But I love your colors. I want to thank you so much for being such a great inspiration to us on Pathway to Success. Thank you for doing a great show. I think you were born for this, and keep on winning. And I one of the things I like also while you were talking, you tend to mention Proverbs, and is it Philippians 4:13? I don't know if it's Philippians 4:13.
Yes.
Those seems to be your favorite scriptures.
Well,
And it says in everything we should let God direct our path.
amen.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years in closing?
In the next 5 years, I see myself diving more into working for the kingdom, ministry business. It's all about my spiritual growth now. Professionally, where career is concerned, I want to use my teaching experience and teaching the kingdom. My apostle, I know she is watching. I want to take this opportunity and give a shout out to my church family, New Beginnings Kingdom Ministry. Give me this opportunity, Doc. Let me just stick it in right.
Yes, please do. As a matter of fact, I met your apostle.
Apostle Dr. Ruth Ariza.
I want to say hello to Apostle Dr. Ruth Ariza.
Yes.
Also, great woman of God. Great woman of God. Love her. Great woman of God.
My church family, my biological family. I have my son who is watching, my sisters and brothers, my nieces, my nephews all over the world, Canada, Cayman, Jamaica, America, England, the US. They're all on Trinidad and Tobago. How could I forget you? My niece and my sister are there in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you guys for tuning in. My friends from all over the world who I think they're all on between YouTube and Facebook. A big shout out to you. Special shout out, of course, to my past students. They are definitely cheering me on. I got so many messages from them. I'm a proud teacher. And I'm proud of my students, very proud of my students. If I see them on the road, we do encourage each other. And special shout out as well to my past co-workers, especially those from the high school and the college. And of course, to my current Olympic group team from all the companies in Olympic. They have also signed in, and I have the whole entourage here with me. Now, where do I see myself in another 5-10 years?
Can I interrupt? I was just going to say I was just going to call it Jamaican immigration. Based on you're telling everybody You're saying hi, but a shout out to everybody. It's giving me the impression like you don't plan to go back to Jamaica. So let me call him on the phone and tell him to cancel your.
Of course, my friends and family in Jamaica who are watching, yes, 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 definitely. And apart from, so I was speaking about using my experience in teaching to benefit the kingdom. My apostle, we are now working on doing business God's way, seminars where I will be doing coaching sessions, having seminars on personal financing, retirement planning, other areas in finance to help the body of Christ on better how to manage their money, and by extension, maybe manage whatever they have with them, their assets on a whole. And we hope to see positive change coming from that. It's all about having an impact on social change. And I think the body of Christ needs um, some form of coaching and guidance outside of their regular work settings and outside community settings. So I think the church community, starting with us, we will be embarking on that. And where my career is concerned, I still want to finish studying. I have started my PhD with just a few months leave. I have all intention of finishing up, and then maybe consultancy in my very last years. But of course, investment, having more business under my belt is always in the engine.
Congratulations. I want to say early congratulations on your PhD.
Thank
And I want to say also, I like the idea that what you're trying to impart to the body of Christ is so much needed, more than ever. Many people need to have a retirement plan, how to invest and what to invest in. You know, so many of them invest in Louis Vuittons and Gucci, but I will tell you, which is not a problem going shopping. But there's other things to invest in that will be worthwhile, more, in the long run, or lasting, will bring back money to their pockets in the long run. Thank you for taking time out of your time, out of your schedule to speak to us on Pathway to Success.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you so much too for having me. And it was indeed enjoyable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank
It was really, it's really enjoyable because she's from the country and I'm from Kingston. So so we would always get at each other.
you.
But
So, the green.
and she's wearing the color green while I'm wearing George's color blue. So that means I'm the peaceful one. Anyway, in closing, um, whatever goals that you have, work hard at it. Put your faith in God, and you'll achieve your goals. And God has no problems. All He has is solution. Have a great week from us here at Pathway to Success. Great interview, Dr. Florence Jarrett.